Welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. Before I get stuck into telling you about farm activities this week, I just thought I would mention that we are back in COVID restrictions here in Victoria. I kind of keep this weekly video as a bit of a diary for myself as well. So I thought that I will just put it out there that we're in lockdown again, and hopefully it's just for 7 days and that we can knock this one on the head and hopefully things will improve again really quickly. Now into the farm stuff. Something that I've been tackling with here on the farm since moving from the suburbs is the incredibly bad phone reception and internet access. It's something that you take for granted when you are in a more built up area, and here we are in such a black spot. We often only have like 3G 1 bar on our phone. It's absolutely ridiculous. So our phone reception is really bad. It drops out. Sometimes the phone doesn't even ring. And if it's windy or rainy or anything is slightly off, then it just doesn't work or it's extremely slow. Our only option for home internet is satellite, and it is unreliable and it also is expensive, and we have a limited amount of data per month. There's a peak and an off peak. So what I've been doing to upload these videos was originally setting an alarm for the middle of the night to wake up and upload the video when we were using the off-peak data. But that started to really screw up my sleep patterns, so I decided that instead I would use my phone and do it during the day. So I was plugging my phone in to my computer and I was doing that, but it was taking sometimes 12 hours and sometimes failing because the reception on my phone is just so bad. So now I've come up with a different solution. It's a little bit of a pain, but in terms of the amount of time it takes, it's just can't even compare. So what I do now is I drive to the local town and I sit in the car park of the supermarket and I quickly upload my video. It takes maybe 5 minutes, and then I can buy some groceries and come home. So sort of do a full trip of jobs while I'm out. And I realized this after my week at Creswick a few weeks ago, because I used my phone to upload there and it was super quick. So I'm like, well, I know it's not my phone. It's clearly just the reception that I'm getting. So new plan, that's what I'm doing from now on. I managed to get the mowing done last weekend. We had a couple of really lovely warm days. The grass was probably still a little bit wet, but it just had to get done. So I did both my backyard and I did the area here around the shed on the ride-on mower. I'm still a little bit tentative, but I am getting better at it. It's one of those jobs that I don't enjoy. So it is a struggle to get out and do it, but the results once it's done are so pleasing that it is actually worthwhile doing. I also weeded the path up to the shed door. It's getting lots of little weeds growing, so I pulled as many as I could and sprayed the ones that I couldn't get out by hand just to keep it nice and clear. That's something that I need to make sure I really do keep on top of, because it can end up being a real issue. I want to keep my path beautiful and clear. I also tidied up the veggie box that currently has the things growing in it. I've still got one that's empty. Haven't planted anything in that one yet, but I did a little bit of clearing up in the active box, and I've found that most of my garlic is now sprouting, which is really amazing and exciting. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that progresses. We also had our first frost this week. We had really clear skies for a few nights, so we were getting really thick, heavy frosts that were lasting well into the morning. They do end up being quite lovely days, full blue sky, maybe not terribly warm, but just a really nice day to be outside. So you kind of have to weigh up that really cold start with what ends up being a lovely day, and it's a really nice time of year to be out here in the Yarra Valley. Another job that we did this week was shopping in the bush for perches for the new chook trailer. We had priced up buying pieces of dowel, and it was going to end up being really quite expensive. And for the current chook house, we just found branches from the bush and used those. So we thought, well, we can probably do the same thing for the trailer as well. They do need to be a lot longer because of the way that we're orientating them. So we were not 100% sure that we were going to be able to find the length and the strength that we need. So we spent an afternoon out in the bush and found quite a lot actually. All things that were just on the ground, dead, dried out. So we're going to now experiment with putting those in and seeing how it will all come together. But we have quite a pile, which was really quite a satisfying job to get done. I finished dyeing up the last of the yarn for my wholesale order. The last colour that I had to do was poolside cocktails, which is a colour that I have done many times before and is really lovely. In a previous episode I spoke about rescaining and the difference that it makes in terms of the colour. And poolside cocktails is one of those colourways that is dyed in sort of big sections of colour. So when you reskein it, it ends up looking quite different. So after finishing getting everything dyed and dried and labelled, I laid it all out and boxed it up, made sure that it was all inside plastic so that if there's any water or anything during the post, that everything is going to be protected, and it is now on its way. So I'm really excited to hear when it arrives and to see where it ends up. So it's almost winter and time for knitting all of those warm, chunky DK 8-ply things. So now that I've finished with that wholesale order, I'm going to look at what I have dyed up on my DK base and get some more available and ready to ship in the shop. So check out what's available. I'll put the link below to my shop and you can go check that out. First to what I'm wearing this week. This is Love You Baby by Suzanne Summer. It is a triangular shawl. It's got brioche and texture. Two of the colours, so it's a 3-colour shawl. The blue in here is Jewel C that I dyed up. The light purple was a trial I was doing, but it's like a light version of Your Turning Violet. And the yellow is not my yarn. It was a dyer that is no longer dyeing, but I think it's a really bright pop contrast. So this was my first brioche attempt, and it is a fun and bright, colourful shawl, which is really lovely. I did quite a bit of spinning this week. I did 3 or 4 sections of my Kaleidoscope box by Coloured Wool and Fibre Company. And I have now finished the first half, and I have a very, very full bobbin. As you can see there, that is all of the dark colours, but I'd gone through pinks and bright greens. It's a pity that I don't have one of those bobbins that has the holes so you could see all the rainbow colours through. So now I will start on the second half. And I'm already really excited for the potential of what I'm going to knit with this. I'm going to apply it as a gradient, so I'm just going to spin it again end to end the same way and then do a 2-ply. So I'm looking for a shawl, I think, that will gradiate the colours through and really show off the spin and the colours. I've continued to make progress on my Novum. I won't show you because it's still just big and black and really bunched up on the needles now. I've started the increase row for the ruffles, which is knit one, make one all the way around. So I'm going to end up with, it feels like thousands of stitches. I don't know how many, and I probably won't count. Once I've finished the ginormous increase round, I then have 6 rows of the knitting and then a bind off. So it's still going to take me quite a while because there are so many stitches on the needles. What I've been working on most this week is the flamingo lane socks. I have not got them finished for my sister's birthday, but I am getting super close. I'm super tangled. So I've finished doing the flamingos and I've just done the heel flap, so I'm about to do the turn, and then it'll just be knitting in the round with the two colours to get the same length for the foot. So they shouldn't take me all that much longer now. And this second one went by so much quicker than the first because I knew what I was doing. I've now got my method for doing my two colours and for catching my floats, and I think they look pretty even and reasonably good. So I'm really super happy, and I'm really loving looking at other colour work projects. So there could be some more colour work in my future. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.